DC here. Hi guys. Well, bit of a vlog, bit of a chat today. Today, video response to Billyctv, who wanted to chat about community. Is that a surprise? Not really with Billy. Billy is Mr. Community for YouTube. But he had a few questions he wanted to ask, and it was about bonding on YouTube. That can be a sticky question, can it? Bonding on YouTube. And let me see. I wrote it down because he asked, do you feel like you're bonding or making friends with other community members here on YouTube? Well, let's see. This is a question that has come up quite often, and I've touched it regularly in my vlogs about what should we call it? Real life and virtual life. And I think the matter is being, as far as I'm concerned, is closed. I mean, there's not a separation in that respect. Friends are friends, and yeah, So I mean, I won't go into that very much further. About the question of bonding, though, I mean that's a difference. I mean, because here in Switzerland, and I think in Europe, we make a pretty clear distinction between what we tend to call colleagues, people that we know, and friends. When I was living in Canada, and it's the same mostly in the States, just about everybody is your friend. As soon as you know somebody, you've said hello to him about him or her to about 3-4 times, person's a friend. So you talk about, oh yeah, I've got a friend who does this, who does that, or I know a friend. And that's not the way it works here, actually. When you talk about a friend, you're talking about somebody where you've actually had a bonding. And that means that it could be somebody that you've invited to your home. It's not something that's trivial here. You just don't invite people to your home. You just don't maybe even go out for a drink with someone so easily like that. You can, but there's like a difference. It's like for example, work colleagues. Here, they're work colleagues. Rarely are your work colleagues your friends because you haven't bonded with them in the same way. You haven't very often gone into the personal details or what. There's a subtle difference, but I think finally I find it's an important one. Now, to get back to the question, have you bonded with people of the YouTube community? Well, as in every aspects of life, with some people yes, and with some people no. I mean, with some we're just good colleagues. We chat about what we are interested in, what is our, put in the work or context, what we do. So we make vids. So yeah, we with some people we're good YouTube colleagues. At least with some people I am good YouTube colleague. And with others I am a friend. They are my friends. That for me is a beginning, I would say, of a subtle difference, but where all of a sudden personal messages might go along. There's the comment part, of course, in YouTube. And then all of a sudden it goes sometimes one step further. You kind of feel something for the person. You feel that there is a common link, which is a little bit more than that we just make videos. Yeah. Now, all of you know, for example, that Irene and Dave, so Tweetness and Mr. Tweetness, have come over here in Switzerland. That's just one example of how where the bonding went one step further. We have become extremely close friends, like family, and yeah. So you see, there is a good example, I think, of bonding. Other bondings, I mean, within the community, Billy is, like I've often said, he's a bit of our super glue, isn't he, within the community. He brings us together. He brings our circles together. He was talking in his vid about sub-communities. So we traverse, I would say, from one community to the other. We are creating links. Now the question is, do we go from links to bonding? That's for each one to choose how far you want to go. For example, bondings. I'd receive a card at Easter from a very dear YouTube friend who has, for the moment, has left YouTube because she was getting affected, I would say, by comments and negative comments. Billy talked about on his iPhone channel about everything that's negative, and that is something. You know, the negative part of YouTube can almost kill people. I don't mean literally, but it could. But it really gets to people. Another little bit of friendship here. This is a card that comes from Cool Like That Asian, so Jason and Andre. So this is from Venice. Cool, isn't it? I know some of you have probably received some of these. I mean, I probably got it before because it came from the same continent. Okay, let me move on. Do you feel like people, that was the second question, do you feel like people are becoming a strong community? Well, I guess I've gone into that almost in the answer to the first question, but in a way, yes. There is, but like any community, I've chatted on this a little bit on one of the previous vids. But there's cycles, you know. You go into things and you come out, and sometimes you have interests. You know, like I like to do a lot of varied videos, and I know, like for example, play acting might not be, you know, a cup of tea for some of you people. Talking about tea, I'll take a bit, and you know, so it's this type of thing that, so there's certain communities that might get into that. Others get into singing, karaoke, and just pure vlogging like I'm doing right now. So is there a community? Well, Billy was talking about sub-communities, and a lot of us are in many sub-communities when we have our way of looking at life, our way of not only looking at life, I would say a way of looking at the way we want to interact within YouTube. Many people, or several people, have separated, I would say, their different personalities into different channels where they interact within the different channels into their different sub-communities. I don't feel that way. I mean, I've talked about this once again as well. I mean, is that I like to have one channel because that channel shows the whole me, but I can easily accept that some people separate their I would say their interests into different sub-channels because they feel that they have a stronger interaction when they're within their sub-communities, and that is an interesting way of looking at things. And I mean, I've pondered on it, but I've decided not to go that way. So what about communities? Well, you have the guys like myself, you know, that just like chat on and on and on, as certain YouTube people have told me, you know, you are a chatter. And I just can't seem to say things short and sweet as Billy does. So, you know, maybe that's why he's a partner and I over here, you know, with a few subs like I am, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is that YouTube is definitely a community. It's a community that's thriving and growing, but also evolving. That's the other thing. It's also evolving. And like anything that evolves, I just hope that we're all up to evolving in a positive and good way, because, you know, up to now evolution is not always, as far as I'm concerned, has not always shown the best side of things, at least not in humankind. Let's just hope we don't go that way, but we'll see. As I'm coming up to my usual 10 minutes, I'm going to stop here. Okay, DC's going to be signing off. Another one for now. So this is a video response to Billyctv. DC signing off. Take care, guys, and come back at you.